At 1,000 hours local time, the Pacific looks calm. Blue water. Empty horizon. But 140 miles offshore, 5 cartel smugglers are making the worst mistake of their lives. Their boat, a go-fast. Think floating muscle car. 4 Mercury outboards strapped to the back, each one screaming at max throttle. Top speed? 50 knots. That's over 55 miles an hour on water. For context, fishing boats do maybe 12. These guys aren't fishing. They're running. And they don't know it yet, but they've been spotted 2 hours ago. Inside the boat, they're confident. They've run this route 18 times before. Same boat, same route. Same payoffs to the right people. They think they're ghosts, invisible. The helmsman keeps checking GPS. On schedule. On course, under those tarps? 42 million's worth of pure profit. Split 5 ways minus the cartel's cut. That's about 2 million each. Enough to disappear forever. They're wrong. Because 25,000 feet above them, an HC-130J Super Hercules has been circling since dawn. Its AN/APN-241 radar sweeps a 200-mile circle of ocean like a cosmic broom. Hundreds of contacts on the screen. Cargo ships, tankers, fishing boats. But one little blip pops up weird. At 800 hours, the operator flags it. Speed? Way too fast. Course? Not on shipping lanes, transponder? Silent, 3 strikes. Suspicious as hell. The Hercules operator flips to the Star Sapphire 380 HDC electro-optical camera, zooms in, and from 140 miles away, he can literally count the outboards. He can see the blue tarps covering the deck. He can see crew moving around. By 0945, something else jumps out. The smugglers stop zigzagging and run straight north. Rookie move. Either they're cocky or they're burning too much fuel. The tactical coordinator doesn't wait. He calls it in. Kimball, this is Eyes 1, target steady course. Speed 50. Recommend launch interdiction assets. That data bounces through Link 16, straight to the Coast Guard cutter Kimball, to Joint Interagency Task Force South in Key West, even to the DEA liaison watching cartel routes. Everyone's looped in. Here's the math. The smugglers burn about 100 gallons of fuel per hour. Their tanks? Around 400 gallons. They've been running for 2 hours already. At best, they've got 2 left. Their rendezvous point? 3 hours away. Oops, someone screwed up the math. Meanwhile, the Kimball's too far to chase directly. 200 miles out, max speed 28 knots. But that's fine, because this isn't about the cutter. It's about the bird. 1,100 hours. On the Kimball's flight deck, an MH-65E Dolphin helicopter spins up. Twin turbos, 850 shaft horsepower each. Most people know the Dolphin for search and rescue. But this isn't a rescue bird. This is HITRON, the Coast Guard's Helicopter Interdiction Tactical Squadron. Translation, the people you send when you need to shoot engines off a speeding boat. The pilot climbs to 3,000 feet, cruising to the intercept point. 20 minutes later, the co-pilot spots it. From 3 miles away, the boat's wake looks like someone drew a chalk line across the ocean. That's the thing about 4 outboards at Redline. They throw water into the sky like a fire hose. Inside the Go Fast, the crew is still doing textbook cartel doctrine. Zigzag every few minutes so surface ships can't calculate an intercept. Against patrol boats, this works. Against a helicopter? It's laughable. The MH-65E just flies straight lines between zigs, cuts corners like a Formula One driver. Fuel's now the smuggler's biggest enemy. 4 Mercury 300s burn 25 gallons an hour each. 2 hours gone. Half their tanks empty. Rendezvous still 3 hours out. Physics doesn't lie. The helicopter drops down to 500 feet, hovering 500 meters off the stern. Safe from small arms fire, but close enough for business. The compliance phase begins. Out comes the LRAD, long-range acoustic device. Think megaphone on steroids? 162 decibels. That's louder than a rocket launch. The crew blast commands in English and Spanish. Stop your vessel. Prepare for boarding. This is the United States Coast Guard. Rotor wash rips the ocean into chaos. Spray everywhere. But the smugglers? They laugh it off. Keep running, and you can almost hear their logic, prison. Guaranteed running? Maybe, just maybe, a chance to escape. So they push harder. 15 minutes of warnings. Nothing. Time for step 2. Warning shots. The pilot radios in for authorization. Green light comes back instantly. Rules of engagement are clear. Door gunner leans into the M240B machine gun. 650 rounds per minute. The first burst slams into the water, tracers skipping across the bow. That noise, that mechanical hammering, it's universal. It says this is real. Most smugglers fold right there. Not these guys. These geniuses redline the throttles harder, zigging and zagging like headless chickens. Against a fixed-wing aircraft? Maybe. Against a helicopter that can pivot faster than they can blink? Useless. After 3 bursts, it's clear. They've chosen the hard way. Now comes the moment every cartel runner fears. The door gunner swaps weapons. Out goes the M240. In comes the Barrett M107, semi-auto, 50 caliber BMG, the anti-material rifle. If the M240 was a warning, this is a death sentence for engines. Why not shoot the hull? Because sinking boats creates rescue nightmares. Shoot the crew? Nope, courts love evidence. But shoot the engines? That's precision. No engines means no escape. Just a floating crime scene. The M107 weighs 30 pounds. Each round, 42 grams of metal, leaving the barrel at 2,800 feet per second. Over 11,000 foot-pounds of energy. That's enough to punch through an inch of steel at half a kilometer. Outboards? Aluminum blocks. Tissue paper. Hitron gunners train for this exact shot. Thousands of rounds fired in 6-foot swells, synchronizing their breathing with the helicopter's motion. They're the top 1% of Coast Guard marksmen, apex predators of maritime interdiction. The first shot cracks. The starboard outer engine doesn't just die. It explodes. Aluminum shrapnel and black smoke everywhere. Speed drops from 50 to 38 knots. 3 engines left, second shot. Port outer. Fuel line severed. Water pump wrecked, it seizes. 25 knots now, maneuverability gone, third shot. Starboard inner. The round enters the lower unit, exits the power head, and takes half the guts with it. Speed, 12 knots. Barely crawling, fourth shot. Port inner. Bullseye. The last Mercury outboard detonates like a soda can under a sledgehammer. The go fast goes dead in the water. From 55 miles an hour to 0. No engines. No options. Game over. Now the cavalry arrives from the Kimball. 2 7-meter rigid hull inflatable boats hit the water. Each one packed with 6 tactical law enforcement Team South operators. Not patrol officers. These are maritime special operators. Level fee body armor, 4A1 carbines, pistols, less lethals, the works. They approach in a pincer. 1 from port, 1 from starboard. 45 knots across the swells. Spray flying. They close to within 10 meters. The lead operator stands in the bow, pistol up. Commands in Spanish, rapid fire. Manos arriba. Nadie se mueva. De rodillas. Hands up, nobody move. Get on your knees, the smugglers freeze. Then shuffle forward, hands high. On their bellies, 5 men. Dreams of 2 million apiece evaporating like salt spray. The boat is now a stateless vessel. That means one thing, no happy ending. The boarding team pulls the crew off, secures the cargo, then it's time for disposal. They spread accelerant over the deck, toss a flare. The $42 million go fast erupts into an inferno. Flames lick the sky. The boat that once symbolized escape is now a Viking funeral at sea. The crew watches it burn. Hours later, it slips under the waves, gone forever. The smugglers, they get the free ride of shame back to U.S. soil, courtesy of the very Coast Guard they thought they could outrun. And that, folks, is how a $42 million sprint across the Pacific ends. Not with freedom, not with riches, but with 5 idiots floating on a dead boat while a 50 cal writes the last word. Because here's the thing about outrunning the Coast Guard. You can zig, you can zag, but at the end of the day, physics doesn't care, and neither does a Barrett. Congratulations, boys. You didn't smuggle cocaine. You smuggled yourselves straight into federal prison.